Route 66 is so important. It's really a bridge from our past to our present, and in many ways helps us understand who we are and how we got here today. So, neon signs are the standing sentinels of our Route 66 heritage. I mean, they witnessed everything during the era and remain here as tangible links to that time in our history, right? They're like community members who really help ground us in place and memory, and they're fun. I mean, they bring us joy. They're living works of art, characters on the landscape who are incredibly individual, like people. And on another level, they are both art and the technology of science combined. They really reflect that transition from handcrafted signs to standardized sign making. And they're memory and sense of placemakers for the community and are landmarks and destination points for Route 66 travelers. So the signs are also important for the economy because not only do they promote business for the property owner, but they're tourist destinations and they attract photographers, fine artists, and heritage tourists from all around the world, which brings economic stimulus to the communities. And nationally, it's Albuquerque that is known to hold some of Route 66's most iconic neon. And Central Avenue served as Route 66 through Albuquerque as the city developed from the 1920s to the 1960s, and its legacy still remains one of the city's primary commercial and social corridors.
Well, I think it's kind of maybe that broken window theory, right? You know, we see all these signs along Central that are, you know, they're worn down, maybe a little dilapidated. Just imagine all of those signs refurbished, lit up. I think it's important to show that we care and we really believe in ourselves, and we want everybody else to see that we believe in ourselves and this is who we are. So my name is Klarissa Pena, and I serve District 3 in the city of Albuquerque, which is south of Central, west of the river in the incorporated areas. And then we're here at the beautiful Route 66 Visitor Center. The vision for the Route 66 Center starts many, many moons ago. So it's like probably over 30 years ago that the community got together and really wanted to do something. People wanted to get together and really start to revitalize West Central and what can they do. And then they were visionaries too. They started saying, well, if we did something like a visitor center where community groups can meet, and we had a museum and really encourage tourism, people to get off the route. And many of us were already working on revitalizing West Central, so we were starting to see a lot of improvements to West Central and always encouraging the neon signage. And so it's taken a long time and it's taken a village to get here, but we're here, so it's really exciting. Preserving these historic signs, I think is worth it. We have the sign graveyard that we have here outside of the visitor center, which is just outstanding. We have the Garcia family. We can say, well, we have a sampling here, but if you go down there to Glorieta Station, you'll see some phenomenal signs that are iconic.
My brother, Ed, he really loves neon, so I just love signage, advertising, gas station, automotive. I really love the signs and the graphics and the advertising and the colors. He really loves neon, and I think that was brought on by my mother, Sheila. She came here in 1955 to go to UNM and immediately fell in love with the neon, and so it was something that she always liked, and she was always pointing them out when we were kids, and she still likes them. I grew up, you could throw a football from our house to the doghouse, so it's one of the most iconic signs. And so I always associate them with businesses, and you'll see some iconic Albuquerque and New Mexico businesses today. You'll see some of their signage, but I think it's that, and I think so the connection to the community and knowing the people that operated these businesses, or everybody when they come in here, someone's got a story. That's really the fun part of having the collection, is for people to bring up their memories. And I think for us, just the association with people that made their way in business in Albuquerque, I think that's probably the most interesting to my brother and I, but preserving them for people to come in and have the memories and maybe relive something, because These signs are fading fast. You always remember the first time that you saw a certain sign, or my mom's generation, people driving in a station wagon from Chicago to LA with no air conditioning, and they remember stopping in these places, and then they tell the story to their kids and grandkids. And I think with a place that something can actually see, hearing a story about walking uphill in the snow to school both ways is one thing, but when you can stop by and say, hey, we stayed at this motel in 1955 or whatever when we were coming through, you have places where people drove by certain signs every single day, and they just kind of become a part of you, and they're landmarks. The more interesting the sign, the more emotional connection people have with it, and I'm happy about it because it's one of the few things we collect where younger people still appreciate the signs. A lot of things people don't really care. They've always been cool, and it seems like they're just kind of always going to be cool. And I think when a sign goes, someone say, oh, I wonder what happened to the sign, or I love that sign and it's gone, and then knowing, hey, there is somebody that really cares and they've got it looking good and put up. I think that is sort of reassuring to the community also. And then the signs that we have outside, we get, in a week, there's hundreds of people coming to take pictures of them. There's just broad appeal on the signage. How many places are you driving by and you're seeing 20 killer neon signs outside next to a coffee shop? Not many.
It's such a personal craft, it's not like a lot of other things. To build signs, you come up with concepts, and then you come through a design process, and it's usually it's inspired by people's emotions and feelings and the bright lights, and then you get a lot of nostalgia because some of the older people that grew up here, they're seeing their town revitalized again and coming back to life. And then some of the guys in the back have always seen this stuff when they were younger, and now they're getting a chance to experience the way the old signs are made, and how take real craftsmanship, and how they just look gorgeous, with all these lights on them and stuff, and they like, and I've always promoted them, cause I'm kind of like educating them a little bit. Hey, you're gonna be excited about this stuff, buddy. This is one of the everybody don't get a chance to do this kind of stuff, to put these big nice signs up, and I just happen to be in a town where it's happening. And I come from a little small town in Florida, and I moved out here, and I'm in the perfect place to do exactly what I was trying to do back there. I promote it as much as I can because I see the significance of it, and I always try to keep it in the conversation about, look what's going on with Central.
We bought these apartments back in 2018 and started cleaning them up, and after 6 years of hard work, we were able to get the sign grant, which has been kind of the cherry on the cake as far as getting it all done. I think with nostalgia in general, nostalgia makes people feel good. That's why we love nostalgia. And that's the way I feel too. Like all these signs, the reminiscing of the good old days or days gone by, time, maybe even a simpler time. But absolutely, the signs, the way they light up, it's magic. Would we even be on the map? I think about that sometimes coming from California, if Albuquerque would even be here had we not had this road going right through, our state. And so seeing all these new signs, getting excited for the 100-year anniversary next year, and all the new money that the city's been putting in, it's great, it's wonderful. Albuquerque hasn't boomed yet. I feel like we really have a lot of growth to go, and I think it's starting here on Central.
Route 66 was part of the nation's first federal highway system, and like other highways of its time, absolutely changed life as we knew it. So in the case of Albuquerque, and in the words of scholar Chester Leibs, it extended Main Street to a miracle mile and way beyond. It created economic lifeblood for communities, and along with Sandia Labs, UNM, and other influences, it really helped Albuquerque grow in population from 20,000 people in 1930 to 245,000 people by 1970. In my opinion, the future of historic signs is dependent on projects exactly like the one the city of Albuquerque is doing with this video. It's critical that the public is educated about the value and meaning of historic signs, because when people come to understand them, then they'll want to preserve and care for them. This creates support and participation in great efforts like the city's been doing, such as the Route 66 Neon Design Overlay Zone and Sign Improvement Grant Program. We can do this. Together, we can honor and preserve these signs.